Hi, I'm Brian and you're watching Brian's Mobile One. Today's a Wild Card Wednesday video where I'm going to answer questions about last Sunday's video that were posed in the comments. The video in question was how to justify new tires.
Brian's Mobile One.
In that video I showed my truck, how it was before, I was getting stuck, I was down to the tread bars, all that kind of stuff. And I put new tires on it where I could tackle all kinds of snowy terrain and basically fulfill the purpose of the truck. Questions that you had, you guys are so observant. You notice that the check engine light was on, the TPMS light was on. You notice that I had play. You saw the tire wobble peeling out and going through the snow. And you also notice that the tire combo weight was kind of high, as well as the speedometer being off. That's something that I had pointed out. The other stuff I didn't really point out, but I will answer your questions. So question number one, why is a check engine light? As far as the check engine light, that question came from Deviant, Mark Riley, and Hitman. All three of you guys caught that, so kudos to you guys. The check engine light's on because I've got a failed NOx sensor. NOx is like oxygen and a nitrogen, or two oxygens and a nitrogen. The X is like a variable. So nitrogen and oxygen of however many count, like NO1 or NO2. They just say NO or NO2, so they say NOx. It's funner to say NOx anyway. That's acid rain waiting to happen is what that is, and so we try to reduce that. So there's a sensor built into this truck. This is a 2014 with the 6.7 liter diesel engine, and the trouble code that I have is a P20EE, or Papa 20 Echo Echo. And that basically means that the NOx sensor isn't working properly. Now there's a recall for this, so I don't have to spend any money, but they don't have the parts or it would take longer anyway. I didn't get that done. They turned the light off. They basically went into my PCM and said, hey, stop it, no more. Not just clearing a code as far as I understood it. It was more than that. The light came right back on the next time I drove it. So that's the only code. I'm not too worried about it. It's not hurting the environment. It's not affecting the way the vehicle drives. So it drives me crazy having the check engine light on. As far as the TPMS light, Steve Scott said, did those upgrades cause your engine light and your TPMS light to come on? No, the light was on before I went in. The reason being is this truck is a half ton or 3/4 ton truck, 2500, but it's got a towing capacity that rivals most older 1-ton trucks, which is awesome because if you have a 1-ton truck and you use it for commercial purpose of any kind, your insurance is way more expensive. However, if you have a 3/4 ton truck and use it for commercial purposes, even though the towing capacity is greater than the 1-tons have ever been because they classify it as a 3/4 ton truck, you get the towing capacity, more affordable insurance, and so that's where you're at. But in order to get that towing capacity at 13,800 pound towing capacity, they had to run 80 psi in the rear tires. If you run 80 psi in your rear tires and you don't have a ton of weight, 13,800 pounds on it, guess what? Your tires are going to be like a balloon. Basically, instead of being flat at the top, they're going to bow out and it's going to make the center of your tire go bald. So while I've got this in here, I'm rotating the tires. You can see these were in the back. And it's a little bit low here. When you spin it and get rid of all the detail of the tread, you can see from this point to this point, the tread's low already. And that's at 67 psi. You put these at 80 psi, and the whole middle of your tire is going to go bald. 67's too high when I'm unloaded. And I've been doing a lot of unloaded. So by going lower than 80, the light comes on, but I don't have bald centers in my tires. I have enough bald center stuff in my life without my back tires going bald, running them at 80 psi, so I just have a light on. Some folks notice a wobble. Thomas Sabalis noticed that at 936 it doesn't look good. He noticed the brake squeak at 816. That's actually brake hardware, and that's coming out of winter. I always have it. Doesn't matter what dressing I put on it. Because of driving in the winter and the salt and whatnot, you get the squeak, so I just deal with it. Also, CFast1, he also noticed what was some of the death wobble warning at 937, and he's exactly right, that's what it is. Manny Man also noticed the front right tire seems to wobble. So it was actually coming around this way. It was a driver tire, and I have a bad ball joint on that. You can see the movement here. This truck barely has like 28,000 miles on it, 29,000 miles, and it's already got a bad ball joint. It's been like that forever, since like 2002, 2003. especially the ones with the 3 in the bin at the first. Anyway, I'm going to put a new ball joint on it. I'm going on a guiding trip here probably next week or so. So I want to make sure I get that done. There's another recall on this for the track bar that needs to be done, but they didn't have the parts and I didn't have the time. And I hate letting other people work on my truck. It just drives me crazy. Being the control guy that I am makes me a better mechanic. Oftentimes, you know, I don't do things for free, or you know, if somebody's not willing to pay for it, I can back off from that. I can let you be cheap. If you go ahead and be cheap and learn the life lessons from that, that's fine. But I don't like letting other people work on my truck. When I got the tires you see in the video, that guy was the second guy ever. The first guy to ever work on my truck was putting the used tires on at a tire store because I don't have a tire mounting machine. I don't have a balancer. The other guy, I let him do it, and he stuck my spare tire up into the carrier chrome end first and like bent the, you know, it was like those steel rims with the chrome cap, whatever. Stuck the chrome cap right up into it. Just screwed it up. It's like, that's why I don't let other people work on my stuff. And but as far as the other guy, he did a great job. River Rat says, you want to know why the guy installing your tires looks like he's on roids? That tire and wheel combo weighs 120 pounds. A roadside tire change, roadside, not even off-road, roadside tire change is nearly impossible even for a stud like you. I appreciate the compliment. It says shoes are always fun. You know, new shoes mean new tires. So anyway, how much does it weigh? Drum roll. So yeah, it's within half pound of not being able to be changed in an off-road scenario. That's close. Whew. It only weighs 119 and a half pounds. How did you know it was 120 pounds? That's pretty dang good. Not bad. Can I pick it up? Yeah, I can pick it up. I'll show you right now. So these tires and wheels, you can see I'm not straining that bad. Okay, yeah, I'm kind of straining. I can pick them up no problem. If they were 44s on steel rims, that would be tough. But these are not a problem. It is a lot of weight, but there's a lot of tricks. I've got a video, I'm going to put an end card at the end of this video that shows you how to use your butt and your legs and your forearms and all that kind of stuff. And you use the weight of your butt and your back to kind of rock back, and then you just lean forward to put the tire on. The speedometer, I use the GPS anyway. So you saw that when I set the speed control to like 70 or 72, I was actually going 76. It was off by about 4 miles an hour, and that's at 70. So at lower speeds, basically the faster you go, the more it separates. You know, like, and it's not that extreme. I'm just giving an example. 25 miles an hour, 35 miles an hour, 40, 50, 60, 70, it's only 4 miles an hour difference. I know from talking to people that do traffic enforcement, usually you've got within 5 miles an hour. Reckless endangerment tickets and court appearances don't happen until you're at 15 miles an hour over. So if you're 4 miles over at 70, and that's about the fastest I drive anywhere, on the trip I'll be doing their speed limit section that's 80 miles an hour. That's fun. But at 80 miles an hour, I'd only be off by about 5-6 miles an hour. And I'm not even going to go that fast because I'll be hauling stuff and it's just not safe anyway. So, long story short, that's what's up. So, I got some mail I'm going to share with you. Thanks for everybody that's been sending mail to my P.O. Box. It's P.O. Box 282, Cedar Valley, Utah, 840 Lucky 13. Getting the mail, it's a 7-mile drive to the post office, give or take. And it's just a long, empty 2-lane road. And it's a cool way to, you know, you sit at the desk and you edit all the time. You do mechanic work, that's frustrating. Filming's a little frustrating. But just driving down the road, it's beautiful. There's mountain scenery, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of an excuse, fun thing to get to that house. And a lot of time there's no mail. But when there is, it's even funner. So if you wouldn't mind sending me a postcard or a letter or whatever, I'd be happy to feature it in a video. So, and that won't go on forever, but in the meantime, you know, get it while it's hot.
Mail call.
So I got a 2-page letter, I got a couple of pair of gloves, and I've got 2 postcards. I've got one from Hoosier Ben. He's the guy that sent the knife sharpener, and he's been visiting the Flight Museum in Seattle. I'd love to get out on the road and do some of that, maybe do some paramotoring as I go. I got another one from Eric. He goes by SD Bartender 1. He's from San Diego, and he sends me something from his work. Looks like some old school provocative stuff, ad for Saint Germain. So thanks for the shout out. He's a Subaru guy. And also I got a letter from Zabolks Horvath. I don't know how I've pronounced that, but this is what it looks like. This is his name. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that right, but anyway, he's been a long-time fan of the channel, and I really appreciate the shout out from him. And also the dip knit gloves that he sent to me. They're a knit glove that's dipped into some type of rubber, and I've been digging on these. If you have rubber gloves, they don't breathe real well. But if you have dip knit, they're awesome for everything except for grinding or anything with knives, things like that. They're not as good because I seem to get a lot of holes in the knuckles and stuff. I'll be grinding on a project, something like the ball joint or whatever. Anyway, big shout out to you guys. Thanks so much for thinking of me and dropping something in the mail. Stay tuned. I've got a video coming soon on Sunday for how to fix that little noise from the tire rub. You can check that out, and then I've got some other videos coming down the pipe, including the ball joint video. Look at the way these things are built. These things are crazy. These ball joints have like all this up and down play, but then it had a bunch of sideways play, and then when you look at it, it had this funky rub on it. So anyway, stay tuned for the video on that. That's coming down the pipe as well. Be sure to click subscribe and the little bell so that you can be notified when I put a new video down the line. Cheers.